Hello guys, welcome back to the second section of our course on hypertext markup language. In this section we are going to look at multimedia. When I say multimedia, I mean we're going to look at the image, we will look at audio, and also we'll look at video. But now let's start with audio file in your web page. So I'm going to open to my bracket editor. And when I open to bracket editor, this is a previous page that we created on list. Now we are going to our web page, right click on it, and then we'll create a new one called audio. So we are going to name it audio.html. Okay. All right. So before we do that, let's copy our basic HTML structure from the basic.html and then paste it into the audio.html file. Ooh. Okay, so now let me minimize this and go to my desktop. Okay, so when I go to my desktop, I would go to the HTML folder. When I double click on it and open HTML folder, then you would see that I have the folder that we created initially at the first stage called media. I'm just going to change it to multimedia, or let me leave it at media. Okay, and here is where our web page is. So our web page and then the media folder, these two folders are inside HTML folder. They are inside one folder called HTML. So now when we open to the media folder, we'll see image, 2 or 3 images, we'll see video, we'll also see an audio file. Now when you right click on the audio file and go to properties, you'll get the extension as .mp3 and the name is Harris. So and it's located at C in a folder called users, in a folder named Dawood. So this is basically the path. I hope you know, as we treated this on CMD in the CMD course. Okay, so let's just be quick on this. Now when I open to my web page in brackets editor, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call the audio file. This is how to include audio. Now I'm just going to be a fastest typer by going to courses, and where we have all our codes, and just go and copy and paste stuff in order to save time. So let's go down to here, and then let's copy the first part which is speechless.mp3, and come to audio, and let's paste our code inside audio. Now when you are to include audio file into your web page, you would call the audio element. So after you call the audio element, you close it because it's not a void element. After that, it has an attribute called src, which is source, the source of it, and then we have the name of the file called speechless.mp3. Now I don't have speechless.mp3, so what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to replace this by the one I have. So I have inside my media folder, here is it, I have a file known as harris.mp3. okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say that harris.mp3. so this is it. But the point is that our media folder and then web page folder are included inside a folder known as HTML. So you have to specify this location. So I'll say dot and then bring this. You get it? So it means that it is inside the same folder, but inside the same folder it is in another subfolder. So dot, then I'll bring the name of the folder. So the name of the folder is called media. Okay, please take note of this. Okay, now we have included this inside our web page. We have included the audio file, but look at something. This is not going to play. The reason why it is not going to play is that you have to give it some controls, or at least tell it to do something. So when we run our code and we'll be waiting for brackets to live reload it, you realize that it's not doing anything. So in order for it to function, you have to pass out one attribute called autoplay. Okay, so when you pass out the autoplay and save your work, still it's not going to play. The reason I'll give you another reason for that. Okay, now let's include this in a single quote. Okay, in a single quote. Okay, in a single quote, and let's see what happens. But in a single quote, let's not forget our dot dot and then our slash to be there, and specifying the media and dot this. So now when we save our work, we'll go back to our browser, and you can see that our audio file is playing. It is at autoplay, so when you just load your web page, it will start playing till it ends. Now the point is that, like you've been there. Oh, sorry for my voice though. Okay, let's go back to it. We can apply more things to it. Let's say this is at autoplay. Now you want this file to be playing continuously. You see, it plays and stop at a point, but you want it to continue playing, so we just add what? Autoplay to be what? Loop. And when you save your work and come and refresh your browser, it starts playing again. So always be there, like you've been there. So you see, it has started again. So it will stop at a point. Okay, start. Alright, so it will repeat itself until you tell it to stop. So there's nothing like stop here. So the best thing you can do is that you go back to your web page and then take out the loop from there. Now I've taken out the loop, it has stopped playing. Okay, now you can add another attribute apart from the autoplay is an attribute, the loop is an attribute, but you can add another attribute called controls, which will bring out the controls for the person to be, for the user to be able to click and play your audio, or pause it, or increase the volume. So let's just add controls to it, and when we go back to our web page and we refresh it, it plays automatically, but when it ends, it doesn't continue again. Okay, all right, so now you can play, you can pause, you can play, you can pause, you can decrease the video, the volume, you can make it mute. So it gives you much more controls. And the final thing we will look at is that let's say now in your audio player, now you just want it to display, and then the person would click it by himself, his or herself, the user. So when he clicks, it plays, and then when it ends, and yeah. Now there are some browsers that does not support the modern HTML5 elements, like the audio elements. So in this case, we will pass out a comment to them, pass out something to them that maybe your file or your browser does not support. Okay, does not support. Okay, support this file. Okay, and then we just close it. So when we are playing it, we'll go to the web page and then we play, because this one accepts it. Okay, because it accepts the modern command, it doesn't say anything, and it's a current, updated browser, so it doesn't say anything. But assuming that it's an old browser, it will just pass out this without playing the file. So that is the way to handle the audio element inside the old browser. So till we meet again, salam.